Hey, it's all with an add-on video. I've featured hundreds of add-ons over the years, but today I want to start with the very basics, featuring a handful that are very easy to use, maintain immersion, as in it doesn't chip away at figuring things out in the game, and yet feel essential to the WoW experience. So much so that really Blizzard ought to just incorporate these into the game in a future update. You veterans out there probably shouldn't expect anything new or mind-blowing in here, but if everyone had these installed, life in World of Warcraft would be slightly better. Links to the add-ons featured will be in the video description. Hit the like button, subscribe for more coverage, and catch me live on Twitch. First off, we have Demodal. Normally, when opening WoW's many different windows, they sit in a fixed place. They happen to move only when other windows open up, and the UI will move them around to prevent overlap. The UI is pretty strict too, and it'll close other windows to avoid your screen from getting too cluttered. That's not a bad approach at all, but what about those of us who like it that way? Demodal does a few things. With it, I can move windows around freely and can have many of them open at once. Sometimes I'll be multitasking, looking at auctions for my professions while talking in chat with having the map open. Demodal lets me do that, and after having this add-on installed, it immediately felt natural. While it's not necessary, BlizzMove is another great add-on if you want some added features. With BlizzMove installed, when dragging windows around, you can now drag them a little bit off your screen. Demodal does not let this happen. You can also resize most windows by holding the Control key and using the mouse wheel. To reset the size, hold Control and right-click a window to put it back in its place. Both add-ons are pretty similar, so let's make it clear which add-on does what. Both will let you move windows around. Demodal is what allows numerous windows to be open at once. BlizzMove gives more flexibility with moving and resizing windows. So use one or the other, and both work fine too. I've been using both of them at once for years. Dragon Rider is a newer add-on for the Dragonflight expansion that gives a tastefully immersive speedometer. The game already provides visual aids to help inform players of how fast they're going, with even more immersive effects. But some people find it distracting, or maybe even disorienting. Also, experienced Dragon Riders can benefit with a bit more transparency of how fast they're accelerating and decelerating in order to maintain high speeds. With this add-on installed, you have a very simple gauge of your current speed. When the bar fills to this position here, you're in the range of building up vigor to use dragon riding abilities. Beyond this threshold here is the point past regular cruising speed. Now this is great for those who don't like or want too many extra effects on screen, but still want the important information. With this, I had a much better time learning how to maximize my speed during dragon races and just flying around in general. It's kind of eye-opening to see how to maintain higher than the usual cruising speed. The add-on is also pretty customizable too. You can alter the colors, the positioning, and more. Until a bit more recently, when players communicated locations to each other, they used a set of coordinates that's accepted by the community. These days, more and more players use map pings to communicate this sort of stuff through chat, but coordinates are still the go-to when talking about locations outside of chat channels, sites like Wowhead, and more. Coordinates is a very simple, low-profile add-on that shows your coordinates just above the minimap. It also shows up on the map window, and also shows the position of your mouse so you can read off someone's directions and identify where to go. And then if you want, control-click to set up a pin to follow. I can set this up with unlimited map pin distance. Normally, map pins have to be closer than 1,000 yards before it's visible in the game world. With this add-on, you can see pins no matter how far they are. It's pretty simple, and it works out the box. Next, we have simple item level. As you play World of Warcraft, you eventually come to terms that there are a lot of items in this game, and sometimes it can be hard to tell at a glance which is what. There are tons of different bag add-ons out there that make life easier, but I think the most effective add-on to get you started is simple item level. It simply slaps the item level of the piece of gear onto its icon. It's visible on your bags as well as your character sheet, giving you a good visual snapshot of where your gear's at and what could be improved on. Finally, I present Great Toast for Omelets. Just kidding. It's called GTFO. It took me a while to decide on what I would consider an essential combat add-on, because there are so many flavors of them, but I think GTFO works best as a supplementary alert for when you're standing on something bad. Kind of like the Dragon Rider situation, the game already does a reasonable job of informing you if you're standing in bad stuff by changing the color of your screen with debuff notifications and, well, in most cases your HP going down very quickly. so it's meant to teach you. GTFO informs you through audio, and it does an obnoxious, if not effective job of doing so in case you have your visual settings tuned down or if visual cues just aren't quite good enough for you. I like this because it's still mostly immersive, it's just a different way to give you alerts. There may come a point where you want to have things like timers, text alerts, and more, but GTFO is how you'll get started. And that wraps up my list of most essential add-ons WoW should just put into the game. I know this was a very exclusive list, but I really wanted to focus on add-ons that help one get started, but still gives plenty of space for players to, figure things out for themselves. Of course, you can check out sites like curseforge.com for many more add-ons, or stay tuned to this channel for the occasional spotlight. Please like the video if it was helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more coverage. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.